Welcome back, everybody. Right, if you've just joined us in studio with me, Roxanne Clarke from Western Cape Tennis. Roxanne has just returned from London, and prior to that, where was it? Pretoria, Roxanne?
Yeah.
Pretoria for the Rising Stars.
Yeah, that was it.
Where we see our juniors coming through the ranks and our Western Cape athletes doing so well, and of course, then London, where you did. So, tell me a little bit more about that aspect of. It seems to me that when you talk about leadership, if you want to be a leader, wherever you're coming from, if you want to be a leader, confidence is one of the important things.
Well, confidence is one of the most important things if you want to be an athlete to start. So if you were an athlete, you had to have some sort of confidence. But as we know, it's difficult. For women, most sports, most industries are dominated by men. So having the confidence to put yourself out there for women is something that we all have to work on, no matter how good we were as an athlete.
So this is interesting because you're also the representative for athletes on the Western Cape Provincial Academies Commission.
Yeah.
Are we seeing the bridge? I mean, this is something probably then that falls right in line with your area. Are we seeing the bridge from being an athlete to an administrator, or that like you say, if you want to become if you want to be an administrator, you can learn confidence being an athlete?
Absolutely. I mean, for me in my daily life, the confidence that I gain being an athlete certainly helps me in that way. I do think that if you're talking about the bridge, it's hard for women to transition, to become imagine seeing a woman, I know we do see it now a little bit, a woman NBA coach, not a WNBA.
Yeah.
It's easy for men to coach women's sports, but not necessarily for women to coach men's sports. So gaining the confidence, even though you have the knowledge, to sort of put yourself out there, that's quite important. And that's what a program like the WISH program is, sort of telling women that we're here to support you. You do have the skills, and you can do it. Do you think,
what you just said now, do you think it's a question of people need to be reminded that they've got confidence? Because when you look at an athlete who's a champion or doing really well or is competing, they've got confidence, but maybe they just don't know that they've got confidence. And so when they go into the real world, they don't transfer that sense of confidence into the real world. Is it sometimes about reminding people you are a champion, you are out there, you are an athlete?
It could be, and as it is when you're competing as an athlete, confidence is kind of fluid. So, you could be confident today, but not so confident tomorrow. It also depends on who your opponent is, if you have an opponent in a sport that has opponents. So confidence is kind of fluid, and sometimes you need to tap into that. So if you have a network helping you, that kind of reminds you, hey, I can do things. It sort of lifts your confidence.
Let's talk a little bit about some stuff in the Western Cape. You've got so many events coming up again. It's summertime. I suppose everybody's happy that the sun is shining and the courts are dry.
What a great time. I mean, December is when the year starts for tennis, you could say. So we have quite a few junior events coming up. We have the Growth Point Super 8s, which happen, I think the one in Cape Town is from the 10th to the 15th of December. And then we have a Winelands one as well from the 15th to 21st.
Growth Point Super 8s, well, what is that? Is it 8 clubs, 8 players, 8
No, that
teams?
means it's the highest amount of points you could get for junior tournaments. I don't know what the 8 is, but I think that means there's 8 of them.
So it's a Growth Point, is it for juniors?
Yeah, it's for juniors, for under 18s. I think they do have an open division, which anybody can play. You don't actually get under 18, so it's open once you get past under 16. So anyone plays that, but mostly it's a junior event that you
Cape Town and Cape Winelands.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the Junior Masters coming up.
The Junior Masters happens this weekend, starts today, in fact, up in Pretoria. So a lot of Western Cape players competing for that. We have Heike Jans van Vieren who will be competing in that as well, in the under 18s.
So Junior Masters starts locally and goes where?
Junior Masters is the best 8 to 12. I think it's 8 players from the year's results in Tennis South Africa tournaments, and they sort of the best, and they're competing against each other.
So of course one of the elements that is a big focus for federations is the promotion of club sport, bringing clubs into the game. This is where most athletes will go and join, other than at schools. They will go join a club, find a club, become a member of a club, and then of course look to become proficient at their sport code in their club space. And one of the events you guys have got in the tennis space is the Top Gun
Top Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also a really good event that started recently in the past few years by Tennis South Africa. So, we're just wrapping up the leagues here now. And so in January they have I'm not sure if it's a provincial division of it, or if it's just the local Cape Town one. So that the top clubs will compete against each other here, and the winner of that will go to the national finals, which are held at Sun City. And last year we had Camps Bay, who won that event. So they're defending champions for that.
So the club itself plays as a club. You don't play as an individual. It's club versus club.
Yeah, I think there's 2 women and 2 men on a team,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so they play in that. I'm not sure what the format is yet. I'll find that out. But they compete, and I'm sure there's a mixed doubles. There must be.
Yeah.
And the winning club obviously gets a cash prize, and the
they get to travel.
They get to tout for the year that they're the club champs for the national champs. Yeah.
Let's just go back before we lose your time here. For folks that want to get started, play tennis.
Yeah.
There's always a club near you, district.
Absolutely.
And
there's a club, there's a tennis academy, there's a school that does tennis, and it's summertime, so it's tennis time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Get out there.
So what's the best way? Do you just Google tennis and find a club near you?
Yeah.
Go to the websites or
Tennis South Africa. I'm not sure about our Western Cape website if it has that kind of info yet, but definitely Tennis South Africa will have that info for you with all the registered coaches in your area.
What if you've never played tennis before? I mean, is there someone generally at a club that can help you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You have coaches who can coach all levels of players. And if you want to try out something new and exciting, paddle tennis courts are popping up everywhere. So that's something that people are enjoying.
Well, you're going to have to explain to our viewers that have never, just remind us what is paddle tennis.
So paddle tennis is a different format of tennis. We play with sort of almost like a bat.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like there's a squash element to it. So the court is a synthetic grass court.
Yes.
And it's enclosed. It's enclosed with plexiglass. And so you can play off the wall. Okay. And you play doubles, which is a lot of fun. Everybody loves doubles. So you and your partner play off the wall. There's some rules to it, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so you don't play against opponent. You play off the wall with your opponent next to you.
No, you're playing against opponents.
Oh,
so you play over the net,
okay.
but if you hit against the back fence or the back wall, it's in play.
Is it the same rules as tennis? Or similar rules?
Similar. There's some adjustments to the rules.
Shorter time frames, a faster game?
You can play it in sets. Okay. You can play it in any format, I think, that you can use for tennis, but that's sort of taking the country by storm now.
Roxanne, what comes next for you now? You, of course, were busy with the kids up in Pretoria, and then it was London. Before that, of course, you were Macedonia and quite a few. What comes next for you now?
Well, I'm possibly traveling to Tunisia again for an Africa 13 and under camp to train with our best players for Africa's best under 13 players.
Right. For
a few days in December.
How tough is the Africa competition?
It's really good. I mean, these are the young ones, so these are the up and coming ones. Yeah. So it's exciting to be working with them.
Roxanne Clarke, it's been fantastic to have you in studio as always. There's a permanent seat here for you, and we're looking forward to catching up with you again.
Thank you so much, JP.
There we go, folks. Always great speaking to Roxanne Clarke from Western Cape Tennis and our Western Cape athletes doing so well. Of course, across the districts, across the province, and competing internationally and, well, nationally, and bringing back the medals. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking sport in the province. Don't go away.